So if you have ever opened your door or unlocked your doors and you hear a noise like this, it is the AC heat actuator that's probably broken or jammed. And this isn't a great lighting setup, but it is located right behind here, way in the back. It's only held with 2 screws and 1 electrical connector, so it's a really simple replacement once you get access. And the access is the hardest part. So that's what we're going to show today, is how to get in there and replace that thing and stop that horrible clacking noise. And also, as a benefit, then your air conditioning and heat will work properly so you can get heat when you need it. So the new part I got just came from AutoZone. This is what it looks like. Pretty simple looking. And that's the part number in the box. It's kind of a, if you've never done it before, it's kind of a pain to get this lower panel off. There's 2 tabs, one up here and one up here. And so the easiest way to do it that I found is drop the steering column down. And then you can see if we can see it. Get your fingers up here, down underneath, and just kind of wedge it out, pull it out, and then do the same thing up here. Put your fingers in here and kind of just wedge it out. Just kind of pop it out, pops right out, and then the panel hinges down and comes right off. Once you get the panel off, the next thing you're going to want to do is pull this metal plate off. You use a 10mm socket to get the 2 bolts out of there, and once it's bolts are out, you just lift it up, pull it out, piece of cake, and you start hunting for the actuator. So I quickly realized that the door kept hitting me every time I got in and out to work down there, so it's a Jeep. I just took the door off. So I got the camera up inside that hole in the paneling. Mine's a 2011, so I don't have a big actuator in this open space that some people do, I think, with later models. I just have this wire harness right here that I'm going to have to disconnect. Now, you can see it, this vent duct right here, that's going to kind of be a blockage, it looks like. So the actuator itself is right up here. If you can see, let me get the camera pointed. Right up there. So it's in the back. And you can see there's 2 Phillips screws that hold it in place. So all you got to do is remove the 2 screws and disconnect the electrical connector, and it's supposedly it's a piece of cake. But what you can't really see is back behind that ducting is a plastic attachment that actually hooks to the door that's getting moved by the motor. So we'll start taking it apart and see what I can show you. I'm trying to show this to you, but it's nearly impossible from, but I'm underneath now, and I'm looking straight up. I wish I could give you a broader perspective to tell you where I'm at, but you can see my finger, and the white piece on the right is attached to the actuator, and the white piece on the left is attached to the vent door, and the little actuator arm here has that metal pin, and the pin goes into the slot on the vent door plastic piece. So what we'll do, I've pulled it apart now, and it already looks like it's gonna be a real pain to get more than just a finger in there to put it back together. But now that it's apart, it's just gonna pull out those 2 screws on the side of the actuator to get it out. So I think getting it out will be easy. Putting it back is gonna be a big pain, I think. All right, so I've unscrewed it. I also disconnected the wire harness for the gas pedal, so hopefully it just comes right out. And here's the wire harness for it too, so we'll see how things go. Yeah, looks like it came out pretty easy, so go ahead and disconnect the harness. Boom, piece of cake. So there's just a few little dog ear type tabs that hold the two halves of the piece together. So I took mine apart, and you can see there's a single tooth missing, and that's what appears to be causing my problem. So I took the new one apart just to see, and you can see that all the teeth are there. So it looks like I've got a broken tooth, and that's what's causing my clackety noise. Since mine had just that single missing tooth, I just pulled that gear up and turned it a little bit so that that missing tooth was nowhere near the other gear, just to see if maybe I could get it to work. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you the full range of motion. And you can, no clacking noises. So that's full hot. And here comes full cold. And no noises. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just reinstall this part and take the new one back, because I don't need it. I fixed my problem. So just to show you the missing tooth, so this is at full cold. The missing tooth is right there on the edge. So I think I'm actually gonna pick it up and move it just a couple of teeth so that there's a little more tolerance there to get that other tooth out of the way. Okay, so I got it reinstalled, and what I'm not making you sit through is all the struggling I had with it to get it in place. But basically, I just tried to get it in there to where it would line up with the screw holes, and then I have the electrical harness plugged in, and I use the temperature control on the Jeep to move the actuator a little bit at a time so I could get the pin in the plastic piece for the blend door. Now that I've got it all screwed in, I disconnected the power cable, and I'm letting it sit for a little bit. And when I plug it back, I've got the Jeep turned off, and when I plug it back in, thinking it's going to run its cycle to zero everything out and get itself situated correctly. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know. Oh, and don't forget to plug in your gas pedal before you start it or turn it to run, because I'm sure it'll give me a bunch of codes if I do that, because it kind of wants the gas pedal there. So don't forget to do that step. All right, I have reconnected the electrical cable for the actuator, put it in full cold, Jeep's off. Let's see what happens when we turn it on, run. No clacking noises. Let's see. Let's go and full hot. Full cold. Well, I hear the motor turning, so I'm going to just go ahead and assume that the Jeep is happy.